I suppose one of the key criticisms somebody might level against what's going on here in the Yoga Vasistha, or in any other kind of path or way which involves meditation and so on, some people feel uncomfortable with it, especially people in the West who think you need to be politically active, you need to be getting out there and doing things. They put this kind of teaching as somehow in opposition to being politically active, and it's not actually. You can be politically active and so on. Some people feel they've got to be, they've got to be getting on with what's real, which is getting angry about things that are happening in the world, being involved. And there's nothing that's going on here which precludes that. You can be as involved as you like. I'm just wondering if there's some undertones here to Rama's concern. Shouldn't Rama, who's in a position of power, he's a prince, he could be out there helping people who are suffering. He could be out there helping the sick and the infirm and making sure people aren't being exploited. But we've got him sitting here for days on end, caught up in his own despair, listening to Vasistha. And some people have got a problem with this. And I think, most of us will have given this sort of thing some thought. We live in this age of global communications, and the suffering that's going on in the world is brought to us on a regular basis. Just to give some concrete examples, at the moment on the news, there's news that thousands of people have been killed in a cyclone in Burma, and probably millions have been made homeless. And this country is under the rule of a military dictatorship, which doesn't inspire confidence that the people are going to get the best help possible. And there's also the news item about an Austrian grandfather who kept his daughter locked up in a cellar for decades and fathered children by his own daughter. It's all quite gruesome. So we're getting bombarded with this kind of thing. Now, is it fair just to shut off the news? How is one supposed to respond to this? Let's take the Burma situation. What's one supposed to do about this? You feel it must be terrible being involved in this kind of situation, and I'm wondering why people listen to this. People like to say they're being informed and keeping in touch with things, but there's probably some quite unsavoury aspects going on, a kind of voyeurism into other people's suffering, with the underlying sense of, I'm glad it's not me. I'm glad it's not me. And if you're very sensitive, perhaps you'll be involved in actually doing something about it. You might give some money to any charitable appeals. You might actually be involved in some kind of social work. Or you might see the main problem is political systems, and if political systems were sorted out, then everything else would follow. So you'll be involved in trying to change the political system. On a personal level, I won't be doing anything about it. But what else can my response be? Just to feel bad or guilty? The case of the Austrian man, that's again interesting, and you wonder what on earth prompts another human being to behave in this way. And it seems to me that he's caught up with being in control, notions of control, and it's probably just an extension of how most of us are, wanting to keep a control over things. So we've got all this news going on, and it can leave you feeling pretty depressed, especially when it's news not just about natural disasters, but about the brutality of one human being to another. And it's not just things which is going on in torture camps in far parts of the world. It's going on in school playgrounds. It's going on in domestic households and here and all over the place. So what we're supposed to do about all that? Just wring our hands in anguish and feel that the world's a miserable place? We have to operate within our own field of influence, and it depends. Perhaps you like to feel you like to be playing your life out on a grand stage. Some people like to be getting on with things quieter, in a more quieter way. And people making value judgments about other people's lifestyle. Then is somebody who's out there helping in some relief effort somehow a better person, or making the world a better place than somebody who's just outside picking litter up the street? So if you start making these moral judgments, then what sort of person are you?